All right, guys, here we are. The very last class of your Let for career that I have to present to you because from here on out, you guys are going to be teaching classes. Okay? Y'all are going to be the meat and potatoes and the leadership and everything else. You guys need to be with your companies, training your Let ones and your twos and your threes. All right. So let's go ahead and kick off Future of Citizen Rights, Unit 4, Chapter 5, Lesson 2. And as you can see, there's only 33 slides in this. So this one's also going to be fairly quick. Your essential question: how might current trends impact citizenship and democracy in the future? If you go into the Google Classroom for the class assignments, you will see a discussion for that. All right, you guys can put that on the discussion boards. How do you think current trends might impact citizenship and democracy in the future? What kind of current trends? Maybe the rioting, the current upcoming election, which will probably be happening about the time you guys get to this lesson. All right, things like that. Immigration. Okay, so think about those things. Write it down under your question discussion. Think about how changes in technology can lead to new laws. I'll give you an example of that. Cell phone cameras have led to a change in child pornography laws. The invention of cars invented a whole new series of laws. Okay. Do you think current laws are sufficient to protect democracy from changes in technology, international relations, and the economy? There's no right answer to this one. You might say that as technology advances, we'll have to find newer ways to regulate technology. Okay? There's no telling what they're going to come up with next. How important is privacy to you? How important is your privacy, guys? Do you think there are circumstances where the government should limit free speech? Now, understand, you have the right to free speech now. What you do not have is the right to free speech without repercussions. And by that, I mean, if you say something against somebody or against a boss or whatever, doesn't mean you can't be fired. You've got the right to say it, but they've also got the right to get to fire you. Okay. Your free speech should not limit somebody else's rights. So our learning objectives today, this is going to be in your textbook. It is page 128. And I apologize, I didn't have this in the notebook already. Notebook, you're going to be looking at page 137. Okay, let me do a little scroll here. All right. Describe the potential impacts of increased diversity. What are we talking about when we're talking about increased diversity? So our learning objectives for this lesson are to describe the potential impacts of increased diversity in our society, explain some of the ways developments in technology might impact direct democracy, privacy, and free speech, explain how terrorism and cyber attacks can limit citizen freedoms, explain why economic instability can pose a threat to democracy, and these are our key words. Come on, next page. In the future, A machine is invented that allows a person to become invisible for 1 hour. What laws or restrictions should be placed on someone who owns and uses this machine? Oops. What do you guys think? Leave that in the classroom discussion. How about in the future, scientists can implant false memories into your brain? They can also wipe out memories and change the way you feel about specific memories. What could be positive and negative impacts? Consequences. What laws would you write? In the future, should driverless cars share the road with other cars? Something's kind of working now. They're having a lot of accidents. Under what circumstances? What about 2 driverless cars are in an accident? Who's responsible? Who pays for that damage? That's a good question. Who should be able to sell or buy a weaponized drone? Would that be a Second Amendment? Can I take a gun and have it mounted on my drone and go and shoot deer? Probably not very accurate anyway. Think about trends that may change citizen rights in the future. So what does the future hold for citizenship and democracy? We're going to have changes in population and diversity. We're becoming more and more diverse as we go along. We're going to see changes in technology, changes in terrorism and international relations, changes in the economy. I mean, both good and bad. The more people we get in this country, the economy should go up if they go out and work. But if they don't want to work and they want to live off the government, that's going to be a big drain on the rest of us. That's more money out of our pockets that comes out in taxes. Changes in technology, population diversity. We're going to see more cultural awareness. We'll see a lot more different cultures around. Diversity can enrich our culture, strengthen ideals that are important to all humans, and help us better understand people in different countries. It can also erode social cohesion, make people more selfish, and pit people against each other. Some of this is under the guise of racism. Erode social cohesion. People just don't want to deal with people from other countries. Pit people against each other. There are countries that have been fighting with each other for centuries and centuries. And then they all get together here, and it's hard to bury that, you know. Lebanon and Jerusalem, an Arab country and a Jewish country, they're neighbors. They've been fighting for centuries. They literally hate each other. But you bring a Lebanese and a person from Jerusalem here into this country, and they don't automatically drop that hatred. Okay? And that stuff flares up out here. Go through your student texts. In 1915, President Wilson addressed a group of 4,000 newly naturalized citizens. And what he said was, and I quote, "You cannot become Americans if you think of yourself in groups. America does not consist of groups. A man who thinks of himself as belonging to a particular national group in America has not yet become an American. And the man who goes among you to trade upon your nationality is no worthy son to live in the stars under the stars and stripes." My urgent advice to you would be not only always to think first of America, but always also to think first of humanity. You do not love humanity if you seek to divide humanity into jealous camps. So what he means is, if you come to America and you continue to think of yourself as from any other country, you know, Lebanon, Jerusalem, I'm a British American, I'm a Russian American. No, you're not. You're American. All right. Your lineage and nationality might be that, but you need to start thinking more for your country as an American. In the future, technology could support direct democracy by what? Giving voters a way to vote directly on their issues. Websites that encourage hatred and lies are often not shut down because of why? It's really hard to draw a line between free speech and government censorship. All right. Our government does not really, well, they do have the right to limit what you say, but they also have the right to come down on you for stuff you say. Think about what you say and how it's going to affect other people. In 2013, the debate about the National Security Agency had to do with balancing citizenship, surveillance, and prevention of terrorist acts. All right, let me explain this one to you. This is what this was. It's probably going to be in the text. Let me scroll through it real quick. Partially. What they were doing was, it was after 9/11, and we were real big on national security and making sure the 9/11 attacks didn't happen again. What they were doing was the National Security Agency, the NSA, retained the right to tap into people's individual phone lines. And they said, we're listening to everybody's private phone calls, and we're listening for people saying things like, you know, they're going to bomb your house or make a bomb. Here's what actually ends up happening. What they do is they have these big computers, and these computers monitor your phone calls. And they're only looking for certain words. Okay. Words like president, assassinate, bomb. All right. Attack. Anything, any keyword like that, it's going to trigger in on, and they're going to check your conversation. All right. So if you're not planning anything, then you've got nothing to worry about. But it is kind of a sticky area on whether or not they're too far into our lives. Automation can lead to economic instability when it causes high unemployment and lack of consumer spending. This happened in the auto industry. Cars used to be made by hand. Now they're being made by robots. And all those people in Detroit went out of work. Okay. People they have high unemployment. They don't have jobs. They're not getting paychecks. They're not spending their money. They're not spending the money in the stores. The stores go under, and then everybody's poor. One of the problems people have with us in America today is, have we over automated our lives? Have we over automated our industry? You know, have we put too many people out of work? Look at the self-checkout lines in Walmart. You know, you check yourself out instead of hiring somebody to stand there and do it for you. Not just Walmart, but in a lot of stores now. Those people are now out of work. That's money that's not being sunk back into the economy. They've got to find another job. Our unemployment gets so high because we've over automated ourselves. Another thing you'll hear a lot of people talking about is they talk about people from other countries coming in and taking American jobs. Here's the problem with that thought. A lot of these people have come in and they've taken jobs farming, you know, bringing in the crops, migrant farmer type stuff, fast food jobs. They're taking the jobs that we as Americans have gotten to the point that we don't necessarily want. So we open that hole by being lazy or not wanting to work, you know, minimum wage jobs. So we've opened that up to allow them to come in. If those jobs weren't open, people wouldn't be coming here looking for them. Okay. researching and writing a position paper about your issue. We're going to be doing that essay later. Do your performance assessment task, send that in to me, and go into the Google Classroom and post your discussion to the question that I am going to post on there in just a second. And that is it for today's class.